My name is Jordan Bryant. I am a senior at William & Mary studying biology. And this summer, I worked with Professor Martha Case and Professor Fernando Galeana Rodriguez on this project titled The Development of Vegetation Analysis Tools for Community-Led Conservation Efforts in San Pablo, Oztotepec, Mexico. For my project, I worked with the community of Milpa Alta and the Biological Monitoring Brigade of San Pablo, Oztotepec. San Pablo is a small town that is located in the transvolcanic belt just south of Mexico City. Now, importantly, this region is home to about 2% of the Earth's biodiversity. Unfortunately, this biodiversity is under threat as rapid sprawl from Mexico City has led to illegal logging and farming on protected lands. In an effort to combat these ecological issues and climate change, the Mexican government has led efforts to reforest lands by planting non-native trees. However, some of these lands are endemic grasslands, and by planting non-native trees on these grasslands, biodiversity is actually being hindered by these supposed conservation actions. These areas are then referred to as green deserts due to their lacking biodiversity. The Biological Monitoring Brigade of Milpa Alta is one of the groups that has raised concerns over the ecological implications of green deserts in their community. The Institute for Integrative Conservation at William & Mary partnered with the brigade in order to better understand the changes that are happening in the protected areas in their region of the world. In order to better address these ecological issues, I traveled to San Pablo with a student from the Institute of Integrative Conservation to test a vegetation monitoring protocol that was proposed by our partners and would help the brigade produce data of scientific value. For this monitoring protocol, we randomly picked vegetation plots in one of the 4 ecosystems that we could find in the area, including grasslands, oak forests, pine forests, and of course, these new green deserts. At each of these sites, we would collect a variety of factors that could help us determine the ecological health of that particular ecosystem. So first, we would collect general information on the plot, such as the soil type, the percent cover of vegetation groups, like the percent cover of grasses, of mosses, of trees, etc. And then we would record information specific to trees within that plot by collecting their diameters, their height, and their overall health, including whether they had been affected by fires, by insects, or any sort of diseases. Lastly, we identified specific scientific names of the plants that we found in each site. We also worked with the brigade on plant specimen collection and pressing protocols so that they could have a better record of the plants in their ecosystems into the future. Since our time in Mexico was spent setting the foundation of these monitoring protocols, the implications for future use are really wide for the brigade. But ultimately, future vegetation monitoring by the brigade will help them to better understand and produce data on the different ecosystems and the new green deserts in their community. These efforts will give the brigade a scientific backing to help convince the Mexican government to change their restoration techniques and better preserve the lands that they live on. I would like to acknowledge that this project would not have been possible without the help of the Institute for Integrative Conservation, the Charles Center Summer Research Grant, the Baldwin Spees Plant Conservation Grant, and the Reeve Center. But most importantly, I would like to thank Professor Fernando Galeana Rodriguez, Professor Martha Case, and the Biological Monitoring Brigade of Milpa Alta and the community of San Pablo Oztotepec for their involvements in this project. Thank you.